The purest form of nature is within us. The purest form of nature is within us. Our chakras are made out of that purest form of nature. We are the only people who are spoiling it by our mental thinking. Again the same Saraswati's work. We are going against Saraswati itself. Saraswati cleanses all that is impure in nature, while with our brain activity we are spoiling all that. All our brain activity goes against pure intelligence. And that's what one has to understand, that this pure intelligence is not to be soiled by our thinking. Our thinking can make us so bumptious, so ego-oriented, so impure, that we can really eat the poison and say, what's wrong? Just the opposite of Saraswati. If Saraswati is within us, she gives us subuddhi, wisdom. And that's why to worship Saraswati, to worship Surya, we must have that clear vision as to what we have to be, what we are doing, what filth we are living in, what our mind is getting into. After all, we are here for emancipation and not for just pampering our ego and living with our filth that is with us. So this light should come within us and we should try to rise above our own mental filth which is being created around us. Apart from that, you have to go higher and understand that there is within us a thing called ego. And this ego is false, absolute false. You do not do anything. Actually, when you turn your eyes here and there, when your attention is here and there, it's nothing but your ego is trying to overpower everything. But actually ego is an absolute falsehood, because there's only one ego, and that is of God Almighty, Mahat Ahankara. There is no really any ego that exists. It's a myth, it's a very big myth. Because if you start thinking, you are doing everything, you are doing this, you are doing that, which you are not doing, then this nonsensical ego comes in and you start working it out. It can project in every direction. When it projects forward, it overpowers others, it tries to dominate others, tries to kill others, becomes cruel. When it moves right side, it becomes supraconscious. It starts seeing things which are absurd, which are foolish, which are stupid. When it moves left side, then it starts seeing things, yourself as a big man, as a big Christ, or as a big Devi, or something. They are Adi Gurus and I am very great personality. That's left side. When it moves backwards, that's the dangerous one. When people become gurus, which are ruining other people. When the ego moves backwards, then they become gurus. They themselves have lots of defects in themselves, and they try to pull people into those horrible stuff which is described as absolute narka. That's how is the movement of ego on all the sides. Now, when people try to use their right vishuddhi, that is to talk about themselves, is the worst of all. Whatever type of ego you may have, if you start boasting about it and talking about it, that it encircles, thickens the walls of ego so much that it is impossible to penetrate into that, because that such a person is completely satisfied with himself and he believes that he is true. And once he starts believing into a nonsense like that, is an impossibility. It's an impossibility to penetrate. So when you boast about these things or you talk big, be careful. You see, you know what I am, but how many times do I say I am that? Even if I say once, it makes tremendous vibrations for you. But how many times do I say so? At the most, if you say something, I say, yes, but I don't say that. If I say it loudly, I don't know what may happen, the whole thing might be blasted with truth. So, one has to understand that Mahat Ahankara is the one that acts, that works, that really. Sometimes I shout at you, immediately all the bhoots run away. Just once I shout, yesterday you saw all the boots that were coughing, they all ran. Yesterday just I stopped. So you should understand that now as you are realized souls, you can also do the soul. Use your right Vishuddhi to shout at yourself, now will you please stop boasting, will you stop talking all this nonsense, will you stop showing off? Then it will stop. Now this thickening takes place by people who really are active, who want to do something about it. Not that they are not active, they want to do it. But they know only one way is to act through talking. They don't understand that there are inner ways by which you control it much more. Because they don't want to take to that, they take to this talking. And once they take to talking and they talk about it, the whole power flows up. But if they do not talk about it and keep it within themselves, it's alright, you can tell me about your experiences or anything, but if you start telling others and talking about it too much, then the powers that you have got will be all disappearing gradually from you. And you will just come down to absolutely lowest level. So one should not too much talk that I have this power, or I see this, or I do this, which is a very wrong thing. I warn you, don't try to show off. You can talk about my powers, it's all right. But don't try to talk about your powers. When it comes, of course, to talk to somebody who is a negative person, or to tell somebody, then you should say that we, not I, we have, some of us have felt this power within us. We have seen people. It may be you only, but you need not say I have. What you have to say, we. Then you become the Mahatahankar. When you say we, yes, some of us, we do. Like in Gregor's book also, I saw to it that he should not have many I's, but he should have we. We think, we do, we. Means the whole collective being, the whole collective organism, living organism of Sahaja Yogis. So you should say, yes, some of us have got. That means you put yourself down, but put all others above you. Say, yes, some of us have, I know some people have this. That's the way one should do it. Because if you have to overpower your ego, you must allow it to spread into everybody else. That's how you will make it perfectly alright. Make it spread. We all Sahaja Yogis. We all. But that pride is not there. I've seen that pride is not there. Still it is very individualistic. If you start thinking we Sahaja Yogis, then what happens? That you become one person, one organization. But the person will look down upon other people. Will see that this person is low, that person is high, that person is there. But he will not think we, the Sahaja Yogis, how beautiful we are. We, the body of Sahaja Yoga, how beautiful we are. So always think in the words of we. So your ego will become much less, much less, much less. And the same ego which looked so funny and absurd will form tomorrow the Ekadashi. Today's individual ego will merge into Ekadashi. But we all must remember to say we all the time. This is what is today's day is great day for us to change, because the sun has changed its mood now. Sun is coming this side. So let us welcome the sun coming to the north now, this way. And for Australians to say that though the sun has gone, let us establish the sun, the domain of sun within ourselves. Because sun never disappears from our inside. So that is how we have to take a mood by which we should think of one personality, all of us together. All of us together. And anybody tries to be something separate or different, he'll drop it. I'll drop him. Whatever it will drop it. So you just don't worry. Anybody who tries to be singled out or anything, everybody must do whatever they like to nurture the whole, to help the whole, to emancipate the whole, but not to in any way put anyone down or less. Because this is not the way the Sahaja Yoga is. Sahaja Yoga only works in collectivity. And the one who has developed this permeating spirit is a real Sahaja Yogi. Who has not is not. whatever you may think of yourself, I have nothing to say. But this permeating personality, which moves from places to places, whether you talk or not, like your mother is. Whether I meet you or not makes no difference, but I am permeating through all of you. By little things also I am there with you. So like that, try to permeate into each other and see the beauty, and you will enjoy yourself the best, because that is the biggest thing. That's the biggest thing that is to be achieved. Because this ego, makes you like a nutshell, and you just cannot have a rapport with that beauty of permeation. And just see how the notes move into each other.